And Ahaziah fell down through a lattice in his upper chamber that was in Samaria, and was sick. And he sent messengers, and said unto them, Go, inquire of Baalzebub, the god of Akron, whether I shall recover of this disease. Who is Beelzebub? Let's talk. 2 Kings chapter 1. King Ahaziah of Israel fell sick, and he sent messengers to ask and or pray to Baalzebub if he would get well. The Most High replied through Elijah and said, No. And why are you seeking an answer from another God? In so many words. The king wanted to talk to Elijah and sent 3 bands of 50 men, of which Elijah requested fire from heaven and killed the first 2 bands. Elijah told the king that he was going to die, pretty much because he called upon Beelzebub for his healing. So of course I had some questions with this chapter. The first question is, who is Beelzebub, god of Akron? And then the second question was, did fire really rain down from heaven and kill the first 2 bands of soldiers? Crazy, isn't it? So let's talk about Beelzebub first.
Baalzebub was a prince just below Lucifer. Beelzebub, along with Lucifer and Leviathan, were the first 3 angels to fall. Baalzebub means Lord of the Flies, and he had command over diseases. Beelzebub is known also as Enlil. Enlil was the original Baal, which later evolved into Baal. It could also mean Lord or Master. Baalzebub is best known as the god of the Philistines. He ruled over the city of Akron. He was second in command of Satan once again. The ancient Philistines worshipped him under the name of Baalzebub. Wherever he was worshipped, he was known as god of the weather and meteorology. His appearance is that of a giant fly. He is mentioned several times in the New Testament. Baalzebub is said to be the patron of all Oriental martial arts and Asian culture.
Did fire really come down from heaven when Elijah asked her for it? Let's look at some other scriptures to try to figure this out. The first scripture is going to be in Exodus 9:22 through 23. And it says, And the Lord said unto Moses, Stretch forth thy hand toward heaven, that there may be hail in all the land of Egypt, upon man, upon beast, and upon every herb of the field throughout the land of Egypt. And Moses stretched forth his rod toward heaven, and the Lord sent forth thunder and hail, and the fire ran along upon the ground. And the Lord rained hail upon the land of Egypt. So here we have our first example of fire being sent down from heaven. Second scripture we're going to go to is Exodus chapter 13, verse 21. And it says, And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, to go by day and night. In this scripture we have the Lord, or the Most High, leading them in this fire. He is this fire. In other scriptures, it describes him as being a consuming fire. The next scripture we're going to go to is Exodus 19 and 18. And it says, "And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because the Lord descended upon it in fire. And the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly." Once again, we have the Lord being represented as that fire. He is coming down from heaven, being represented as a fire. And the last scripture that we're going to talk about, or that we're going to mention, is in the New Testament. Now remember, this is all evidence to try to find out if fire really came down from heaven. And it says, "And when the disciples, James and John, saw this, they said, Lord, wilt thou that we command fire to come down from heaven and consume them, even as Elias did?" So here in this last scripture right here in the New Testament, we see that this belief of Elijah commanding or asking the Most High to send fire down upon the mountain, they still believed however many years ago it was. So I don't know what y'all think. Did fire really come down from heaven?